Hey, Grandpa, do you know anything about the plasma membrane?
You talking to me?
Yes, Gramps.
Of course I do. It's Mr. James Bondcraft, remember?
Yes.
It's the outside of the cell. So, what do you want to know?
Everything about it, just everything.
Well, I got an idea. Me and you can go back in time.
Why would we do that?
2 reasons. 1, learn about cells. 2, so I'm making you an offer to not refuse.
Okay, but even if we would, how would we do that?
Simple. The only scientifically proven method. We're going to drive a DeLorean into a wall. I actually made a documentary about this. Happen to see it?
Yeah, I think I
All right, let's go. Let's grab my car. Here we are.
Where are we?
We're in your mom's belly 16 years ago. Dude, you are fat. What happened to you?
Why'd you bring me here?
Teach you all about the cell, my son. Or grandson, whatever.
Alright, so I guess we should get started then, right?
Of course, yeah. Cell membranes. Interesting, it separates the outside of the cell from the inside of the cell. It's made of phospholipid bilayer.
Well, what's that?
Phospholipid bilayer. Glad you asked. Just gonna grab 2 of your phospholipids here. Well, anyway, so it goes a little something like this. Hold this for me, will you? Phospholipid. It's made of a phosphate head, 2 lipid tails. The phosphate head is hydrophilic, so it likes water. The lipid tails are hydrophobic. They don't like water.
So how does that help?
Well, let's say something hydrophilic wants to get in. Hold it from here, will you? Anyway, it works a little like this. Something hydrophilic comes in. Well, anyway, these are hydrophobic, so it can't get in. Something hydrophobic wants to get in. Well, the heads are hydrophilic, so it also can't get in.
So it's really protective. But, I mean, things must get in and out of the cell, so...
Yeah, they do. But before we get on to that, there's another important thing you must learn about. Sterols. Now, in animal cells, they're normally carbohydrates. Now, they fit in between the phospholipids, right in here, between the lipid tails. And in animal cells, they're normally carbohydrates, and they keep the cell membrane firm, and they prevent it from freezing. So, on to that question you had about how things do get in and out. Well, those are integral proteins. Now, they span through the phospholipid bilayer, and the transport protein pulls things from the outside in and the inside out.
What controls that?
Well, there's another integral protein called the receptor protein. It allows the cell to bind to things outside of the cell. So
like the binding allows things like to tells them to let it in or to not?
Yeah.
So, like, what else could bind? Like what else?
Yeah, it can also bind to other cells. So in multicellular organisms, this helps because then it can communicate to other cells. And it also allows things to go through the transport proteins.
So like what other things are there? In the
Well,
membrane?
there are also peripheral proteins. Now, they lie on only one side. Now, there are things called marker proteins. They lie on the outside, and they basically just tell everything out there, I'm X kind of cell, I'm this kind of cell.
Like, what's necessary for that? Like, why would a cell need to know that?
Well, it allows, other molecules and other cells to know what it is. Also, it's how viruses get into the cells. Notable distinction from bacteria. Bacteria sort of surround it and then multiply. Viruses actually go in and then just kill the cell.
What else?
Well, there are enzymes. They are our peripheral proteins on the inside. They help reactions take place within the cell. So, another interesting thing to note is that all these proteins and sterols and phospholipids are constantly moving around. They never stay in one spot. It's called the fluid mosaic model because the membrane acts more of a fluid than a solid. So,
What else?
that's almost everything you need to know. You ready to go home?
I think I get it. Where are we?
Son, we're in the 70s.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
All right, we're done.